Welcome back to Case Closed, Anime Review episode number 7. This one I'm viewing the 7th season of the series, and this season covers chapters 113, 111, 113, 225, 230, and 234, 260. So yeah, at this point it's covered the first 260 chapters, which is a lot. The season itself lasted for 31 episodes. Yep, 31. And aired from October 1999 to June of 2000. Yes, this season had a few multi-parts. The next season got a boatload of them. Starts out with a two-parter known as Secret of the Moon, Star, and Sun. This was a good puzzle episode, though there was a sort of attempted murder type of thing with this one. And it's a really good one, even though it's a filler. Yeah, here's the thing about this season. This season had some filler, not a lot of it. Yeah, it's actually a bit less than it was the previous season. Yeah, not many of the episodes are in fact filler. Yeah, not many of them. Yeah, so I would say this season also had the longest string of filler episodes. At least 9 episodes, 197 through it's 179 to 187. Yeah, this was the longest string of filler episodes to date. Yep. And for a while, the next time you get filler count this high would not be until much, much later. Yeah, this was a total of 9. 9. Yeah, filler episodes are the following. Basically, 165, 165, 169, 175, and 179 to 187. Yeah, not many. For a 30 episode season, it's like 3 plus 9. Yeah, it's roughly only 12 episodes. So roughly, out of this entire 31 episode season, roughly I'd say about 19 episodes are in fact canon, which is actually quite good. Yeah. I did like these episodes. The first two, they're really good. The Disappearing Detective Case. Yeah, this one's all about puppet disappearing, like some good conspiracy, but no, it's not really that. But this was a fun one. There's two filler episodes I'm going to talk about. Yeah, and they're not very good. Next comes a 3-part known as the Turtle Spider Mansion Demon. Yeah, this was actually the first one in a little while of a 3-parter. Yep. And it's also featured return of Hartley. Yeah, he does return later on in the season, but yeah, it's always great to see this guy. Him and his childhood sweetheart. Yeah, involving a murder and blaming on the spider demon. There's a similar episode that happens a little bit later, episode 184. Of course, that one involves masks, not frickin' spiders. But yeah, it was a really good one. Venus Kiss. This one involved death of a main actress who got killed by drowning. And the person who killed her was actually the person who... Second time of the season, yeah, easily predictable. This is the guy who was the maintenance guy. And the reason why he killed her is because apparently she did something she didn't like. Let's see, it was... Oh yeah, for running over his family. That's simply what it was. Yep. The Blind Spot in Darkness 2-parter. Yep. This one involved the death of a head of a family gets killed in this bathtub with a razor. Yeah. Death by electrocution. First time in this series they have involved that, because normally they involve hanging, stabbing, or shooting, but this is the first one involving, well, electrocution. And it turns out the person who did it was actually his wife. Yep, that was the person who did it. Yeah. Of course, apparently this guy had a reputation for making people wait. Apparently he loved taking a bath before breakfast and before dinner. Yep. Twice a day taking a bath. Yeah, apparently he was obsessed with it. Yep. Of course, this one also introduced a doctor who actually does return a little bit later, but it's always great to see recurring characters. Mhm. Revival of the Dying Message. Yep, this one involved a shooting in a bathroom, and the person was killed with a rifle. Yeah, yeah, it was the first time in the season they actually had somebody die via a rifle. Yep. Yeah, one of two times a season. Now, a rifle is not exactly a very common thing you see when a character gets killed off in the season. Yep. And like usual, the person who gets killed is a very terrible person. Yep, and he was killed by a woman. Yep, a woman. Yep. Then we have the 20-year-old murder mystery, the Symphony Serial Murders. Yeah, this one was actually two episodes that was more than like 30 minutes. This first one was 2 hours long. Yeah, it took me like an hour and a half to get through this episode. I did not expect this thing to be this long, but yep. This one involved like a murder on a ship, which is the second time this has happened. I think it was like the second time this happened in this series. We have a murder happening on a ship. This one actually had some murders and involved a bank robbery. Yep. And they show a flashback 20 years prior to the series where one of the characters get killed off. Excuse me. Yeah, it turns out it was the boss because apparently he regretted killing one of the employees. So he gets killed by one of his subordinates, and eventually two members get killed off. And it turns out one of the victims was actually the boss all along. Yeah, it turns out the boss actually survived being shot. One of two times in this season where, even though a character looked like he died, but nope, comes back later and then he dies again. Gets killed by pretty much the same person. And it turns out there was a woman on the ship who was actually the guy's daughter. Yeah, she didn't necessarily know that he was actually, well, on the ship. Or at least know that she probably was alive. Yeah, it was a great episode. Well worth the time to sit through at least an hour and a half of basically this. The man was killed 4 times. When I saw this one Remy episode of CSI Miami, we have 4 people confessing to killing this one guy. Yeah, this handsome guy who gets killed with various things. Like he gets whacked with a towel rod like multiple times. Yet this guy somehow survived in the episode being whacked in the head multiple times. In the case of this one, made more sense. He get hit with a freaking vase. Yep. And eventually he died of a heart attack. And the person who actually kind of killed him was his wife. And she killed him by withholding his medication. Which is the first time I've seen this happen in this series. 175 is... yeah, it was the filler episode. Then we have the 3-parter, which also has Anita briefly turned back into her normal size. You don't see her face per se. Of course, this is also a return of Jin for the first time since his debut, since Anita's debut appearance. Also, he has this weird thing of he fantasizes what Anita looks like with her clothes on. I'm not kidding about this. He's done this twice in the series, and this is the first time he's done this. Though they don't show her full frontal nudity, they show her basically back to the camera, showing her without a shirt on. Yeah, I don't know why apparently he's obsessed with this. It's one of the most bizarre things to come to Jin. And apparently, yeah, how do they find out where this guy is? Now, they don't encounter Conan at all. As a matter of fact, they don't encounter Conan for quite some time. Yeah, apparently Conan discovers his car, which apparently is a car from 1950s. Yeah, apparently it's this all-black car, which apparently Jin drives, and he apparently loves this car so much he frequently drives, and he's always seen smoking. That's the thing with Jin. He's always seen, a lot of the time, with a cigarette in his mouth. And, of course, Conan plans to trace in the car. Somehow they find it tucked between the seats. Gets smashed. Finds out about an assassination tip. Found about an assassination. Turns out that we can kill a lawyer. They did kill the person. Of course, this also was debut of the character of Christina Vanyard. Yes, Christina Vanyard. Yeah, she makes a debut in this episode. Yeah, she's actually a member of the Black Organization. She's basically a recurring character in the series, and this is the first time she appears. Though she appears posed as an actress. Yep. So, yeah, she's initially suspected of the murder, but nope, it was this older guy who was president of a car company. Turns out he was the assassin, named Paco. Yep. How did he kill him? Well, put a silencer on a gun and shut a chandelier. Okay. Death by dropping something at somebody. Yeah. Yeah, a few times happened in the series, but this is actually quite interesting. Eventually, the guy is killed, not by the police. No, he's killed by Jin, because apparently he's under orders from that person, basically the boss of the black organization. He gets shot, and the death is ruled suicide. Well, they don't. This is actually the second time he kills somebody in the series. The last time he did it was basically when just the episode just before Nita made her debut appearance. Of course, the last person he killed was actually his sister. Yep. It was a fantastic three-parter, and they want to have a contact with the black organization again, not for some time. Oh gosh, not for some time. Yep. Then we have the coffee shop murder. Yeah, where a guy gets killed by a mail truck by having it rammed through a freaking wall. I'm like, wow. Yeah, and they kind of ruled an accident, but nope. It turns out the guy killed was an old man. Reason why? Because apparently he was he was about to go bankrupt, and apparently killing him was a way to save his company. Somehow, it was one of the weirdest things I've seen. Next one was a two-parter. Where involving a woman being stalked, and it turns out, nope, she faked her own stalking. Yeah, he was initially hired to find out about the stalking thing. Yeah, one of two times in the season that Richard Moore is hired to do, well, find out who a stalker is, and it turns out, nope, it was not even real at all. And, yeah. And all deals with flowers, this one. Yeah, and this actually was quite an interesting one. It turns out the wife actually killed the guy. Yeah, this was the second time this season where you have somebody who gets killed by the same person and it comes back years later. She apparently killed him because she was betrayed by him. Apparently she killed him by pushing him off a cliff, and somehow he survived that. That occasionally can work, but I'm not going to prove it. Nope. Became a big singer, and apparently he had a past relationship with a wife. Yep, and it turns out that the reason why that she wanted, and she basically framed her husband because because she basically believed that he was going to leave her in order to sleep with his apprentice, or at least have an apprentice take over the company. Yeah, beautiful woman, mind you. Yeah, and for a woman who married this guy for 10 years, she looks great for a woman who's married the same guy for 10 years. Yep, it's a really good two-parter. And then comes two really boring episodes. The Big Investigation into Nine Doors and Dangerous Recipe. Yeah, the first was okay, but man, I was bored. Eventually, who catch the person at the end? Yeah, the whole thing started with this first one involving two hooks and a wedding ring be fall out of a window. And they eventually find the person it belongs to, and yeah, it's particularly very bizarre one. The other one involved a recipe and finding out somebody was going to kill somebody. Turns out the guy was going to kill a dog because he frequently barked at him. Really? That's the reason why he was going to kill the dog, because he barked at him frequently? I go through that every day when I come home from work. I have dogs that bark at me like every day if I come home from work. So, I get kind of ways he doesn't like it at all, but I'm not going to kill a dog because he's going to bark at me. Come on, it's so stupid. Yeah, really stupid reason. Next is one of my favorite episodes of the season, The Cursed Masculinas. Yeah, and for some reason the maids are particularly very weird. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the movie Sisters, where you have these two twin maids, and they're frequently holding hands because they're scared. And get this, the person who was killed was an older woman, got killed by the son of her former partner, and oh yeah, and the reason why he killed her is because she basically was the one who framed his mother for a hit and run. Yep. Though how she was killed was the most bizarre way of seeing somebody get killed. Yeah, her throat was slit, but apparently took the time to remove 200 masks that apparently look exactly the same, and these were cursed masks. Put them on this rope, like, put all these things entirely. They took time to do this. Yeah, in the episode, it's shown, looked like this is going to take a good 20 minutes to do. And eventually pulls the thread up with a knife at the end, and just basically push it over and just slice it. And then how we go over the room, something cut the rope, and then just the rooms of the mask go over the place. Yeah, it's one of the most unusual things. And the way it started off was very bizarre. This mansion had two entrances, a west and east entrance. We have Rachel, Richard, and Conan go through the east entrance, and everybody else go through the west entrance. And apparently the only way the two sides of the mansion connect is via this mass room. Yep, and apparently the masks apparently go crazy and leave the room, so you have to lock the mass room at midnight for some reason. So everybody's all fast asleep. They're woken up by a phone call. Then they rush to the other side of the mansion. First, they have to get one person's keys, and then the sister has to call one mate. The sister mate has to call her sister to get the other key to lock the other one to go up the side. And how they get into the locker room is quite ingenious. First, Richard just gets a chair, breaks the glass, and then the thing is too small for anybody through, so they send Conan through. Yeah, he basically proves that he verifies that she died. And this is probably the only time this season where whenever Conan investigates something, he's not like hit on the head or basically chastised or thrown out of the room or at least tossed into Rachel's arms. Yeah, apparently Richard is basically him and Richard are cooperating with each other, and eventually he unlocks the door, everybody gets through. Yeah. Fantastic episode this one was. And then we have two-part involving the murder-famous detective. Yeah, involving an actor who got killed by the scriptwriter. Yep, and this guy was the star of the show. And apparently he wanted to change the writing where he wanted to find out before the audience did. Excuse me. Yep. The last Phil episode season involves a financial person. Yeah, this was an odd episode. And not much else to say. I kind of forgot what happened. It's been a while since I watched this one. Like last night. And in the last 6 episodes is simply put a 6-parter. Yep, a 6-parter. Yeah, involving Shogi. Yeah, the first couple episodes involving, well, the characters getting trapped in the cave, Conan getting shot and had to go to the hospital, and eventually he's taking a pill to briefly return back to Jimmy Kudo for about 4 episodes. Yeah, it's better than last time. It was Jimmy for like 1 episode. This time he was there for 4 episodes, and eventually he goes back normal at the end. He managed to solve 2 cases before he turned back normal. Yep. Excuse me. The first one was a poisoning. Yep. Where it turns out the person who killed this guy was actually the person who gave him the drinks anyways. Was a bit obvious. Yep. And she killed him via poisoned ice cubes. Okay, apparently she knew about his habit of biting ice cubes. Okay, yep, and eventually they hung out for a little while, go to school briefly, and then Jimmy takes Rachel to a restaurant. Basically, later turns out this is the same restaurant that his father proposed to his mother at. Yep, the same exact one. Yeah, and he gets involved with a murder, which the guy who killed this particular guy, I mean, the viewer already knew right away. This is actually one of it's probably the first time in the series I could think of where you actually the murderer in the episode, and you see who it is right away. There's no lie about it. Yeah, I don't know why I did this for. It's actually one of a couple times I've seen this where viewer already knows who the murderer is, and it takes a while for the people to find out and at least find the evidence to prove it. And yep, he killed him. Basically, what he did, he basically killed this woman's father by shooting him while having her, during a kiss. And he had a silencer inside of a bag and a glove, and apparently it's supposed to be a garbage chute near a washroom. Yep. And eventually, Jimmy turns back to Conan, and he goes away. And here's kind of the thing. After this particular six-parter, Jimmy does not appear again for quite some time. He doesn't appear returning again to episode 521. Roughly 328 episodes, basically, you have to wait before he eventually returns. Yep. Yeah. Not much else to say about this particular season. It's actually really good. Yeah, and next season it's only 26 episodes. Yeah, this season took a little while to get through, mainly because I kept getting distracted by other things. Alright? Yeah, not much else to say about it, but it's really fantastic season, okay? So, that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my next video I'm going to do, which is a comic corner I'm going to do next, okay? But to see you there. Bye.